Welcome back, new YouTube video. And guys, today it's a crucial day for the season because it's Serie A round 37 and 9 games are played simultaneously tonight. Kickoff time at quarter to 9 local time. Everything has yet to be decided except one relegated team who is Monza already, and we've known this for a few weeks, months actually, given the poor season they've had. Napoli Inter fighting for the title, 1 point dividing them at top of the table. Napoli leading with 78 points. Inter have 77. Atalanta are already third. They beat Genoa on Saturday, 3-2 at Marassi. The last spot for the Champions League has to be decided as well, with Juventus, Lazio with 64 points, Roma 63, Bologna 62, and Milan 60. Technically, the Rossoneri, they're still in the race for the Champions League, but it's highly unlikely that they will qualify for the top four. It's actually very hard for them to qualify for Europa League as well. After that, Bologna won the Coppa Italia against them last Wednesday. So what happens tonight? Napoli play away at Parma, which on paper seems like an easy game, but Parma have already beaten Juventus and Milan at home this season, which given Bianconeri and Rossoneri result doesn't seem like a big accomplishment, but it really was. They also got a 2-2 draw against Inter, also at home, less than a month ago. I mean, around a month ago. So they're a very tricky team to face. They beat Bologna at home. They got a few good results at home against the top sides. They don't play great football, very defensive, but they are very concrete as well. So it's not going to be an easy game for the Partenopei, but not even Inter have an easy game because they host Lazio at San Siro, and Lazio, as I said, they're fighting for a Champions League spot with Juventus. Juventus play at home against Udinese, and Roma host Milan at the Stadio Olimpico in the capital. So the verdict for tonight, we'll have a title winner just if Napoli beat Parma and Inter lose to Lazio, because if there's a chance they finish level on points, and they actually finish level on points after round 38, then as you know, as I explained in the previous video already, the title race will go down to a Scudetto playoff, which has to be played before the official end of the season, which is May 25, and this will create chaos again, which I will explain later on. Juventus, Lazio, Roma, Bologna, Milan fighting for Champions League. We can have a verdict on the top four tonight only if Juventus win and all their opponents lose. Because if two teams fighting for the Champions League finish level on points, there's no playoff, but there is head-to-head record, and then if the head-to-head record and the goal difference in the head-to-head record is the same, then it goes down to the overall goal difference. So Juventus head-to-head with Lazio is favorable to Juventus. The head-to-head Roma is even because they got 2 draws in Turin and in Rome, and currently Juventus goal difference is +3 compared to Roma. The head-to-head record with Bologna again is the same, and also the goal difference in the head-to-head. And the goal difference is better for Juventus against the Rossoblu, because the Rossoblu, they have a 13 goal difference, while the Juventus goal difference is 20. So if they finish level on points with Bologna, they have a slight advantage, because of course it's a gap that it's pretty hard to close in the last 2 games of the season. Milan, they would need again win the remaining 2 games and hope for sleep ups everywhere to reach the top 4. And there is just one spot for Europa League, because one has been taken by Bologna already. So in the current scenario, with Bologna sitting 7th, they would go to Europa League. Lazio would go to Europa League as well, and Roma finishing 6th would be playing in the Conference League next season. But it depends again on where Bologna finish. If they finish 4th, 5th, or 6th. Then, of course, if they finish 4th, they go to the Champions League, and the 5th and the 6th teams go to Europa League. The 7th go to the Conference League. If Bologna finish 5th, then 6th and 6th Europa League, and 7th Conference League. And they are the same thing if they finish 6th. So the 5th place team goes to Europa League, and the 7th goes to the Conference League. It's all pretty complicated still, despite just 2 games remaining. But the thing here is, I think it's pretty hard, especially for the Champions League, to have a clear verdict tonight. I think we'll go down to the final match day. And there is a lot to say about the relegation race as well, because we got Empoli with 28 and Lecce with 28 points in the relegation zone. Venezia have 29, Parma have 32, Verona and Cagliari have 33. Now, this round is pretty favorable to Verona because they play at home against Como, who are already safe from relegation. Parma, no easy game at home because they have the table leaders, as we already said. Empoli play Monza, so technically a good game for them because Monza have already been relegated. Lecce will face Torino at home. A lot of pressure for them because they haven't won in many months, and it's tricky for them to emerge from these last 2 games. But all it's still to play for, really, and also for the relegation race, it's hard to predict that we're going to have some verdicts tonight already. But let me share with you the games that we have tonight, and then before finishing this video, I want to explain you a little bit what happens with the dates and times for the Serie A round 38, which oddly are not out yet, but there's a reason, and it says a lot about the organization in the league, I think. So yeah, this is the table. As you see, great. I mean, regardless of Napoli and Inter fighting for the title, then all these teams here all fighting for a place in the top 4. Another game to watch would be Fiorentina-Bologna because former Fiorentina coach Italiano returns to the Franchi with the Coppa Italia that he has just won against Milan. Then all these teams, the Como, Torino, Udinese, Genoa, they're all safe. Genoa has already played against Atalanta. Cagliari and Verona are pretty close to survival, but they need an extra step. And as you can see, the recent record isn't exactly the best one for survival, but they got a good advantage on the drop zone because 5-point lead with 2 games remaining. It's pretty decent, I would say. But the relegation zone is strictly connected to the race for the title as well, and to the times and dates for the final match day. Why? Because the final match day has to be played like the penultimate one tonight. The teams fighting for the same target must play at the same time. So this means technically the Inter and Napoli, of course, if they can still both win the title in round 38, they must play at the same time. Now, what's the issue here? Inter will face Como, already saved from survival, so they have nothing to play for on paper. Napoli play against Cagliari at home. So if Cagliari are not safe yet, they must play at the same time as all the other teams involved in the relegation race, in the survival race. So this means that there will be, again, a lot of games played at the same time, which is not even the main issue. The main issue here is the Inter must play the final match day and the potential Scudetto playoff before the end of the season, before May 25, also because they have a Champions League final to prepare for on May 31. So the idea, as I already explained in the previous video, would be to play the final match day on Wednesday or Thursday next week, which are Wednesday 21 or Thursday 22. So in case Napoli and Inter finish level on points, they can do a Scudetto playoff on Saturday and Sunday, 24 or 25, and Inter have barely a week to prepare for the Champions League final. So there's big chaos right now because we still don't know, and the teams still don't know what time they will be playing the next round, the final round of the season, and how much time they have to prepare for it. Now, of course, they need to focus on the penultimate match day, round 37 in Serie A, but it's pretty strange and pretty odd that they still don't know when they will be playing the final round. And I think times and dates will be released either tonight or maximum on Monday because they need to have at least 48 hours to know when they will be playing the next and final game of the season. So the situation is still pretty confused. Tonight, as I already explained, there could be a few verdicts, but if all things go as planned, perhaps we need to wait until round 38 to know the Serie A title winner, last team to qualify for the Champions League, and the last two teams joining Monza in Serie B. But it's all to play for. Again, kickoff time, 8:45 local time here in Italy. So stay tuned. There will be more video and comments because this end of the season is really a unforgettable one, a remarkable one, despite all the organization problems that the Liga Serie A is having for the last two games of the season. So we speak very, very soon because there will be a lot to talk about. And if you like my video and the other videos I publish, please do subscribe to the channel because more content will come over the next few days. We speak very, very soon. Ciao.